looking at me? You looking at me? Just kidding, guys. It's DanoMan 2007, and I'm back with a video reply to a very good friend of mine, Markvergeer. He did a video on his personal gaming history. Might as well do one on mine, right? So, my gaming history kind of started when I was about 3 or 4, I think. I was 3 years old when my half-brother moved in our house, and he was 9. He was 6 years older than me, and he still is. How weird is that? He brought the Commodore 64. Still an awesome machine. Commodore 64, well, you know, as a lot of you may know, this thing was just fantastic. Took ages to load games, but the games were great. The music, especially, was always fantastic. I can't even roughly begin to tell you how many comic books I finished, just waiting for the games to load. It was just brilliant. Me and my brother would just, you know, sit there in anticipation of this Commodore loading the game. It's awesome. And what did we play? I think a lot of Outrun and Batman and RoboCop, I think, for the Commodore, which were all pretty awesome games. Another console we spent a lot of time on was the NES, the old Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, probably the greatest of all 8-bit consoles. So yeah, I think I played all of the really important games on the NES, like Super Mario Bros. 3 and, you know, lots of other really cool games. We spent a lot of time on that, and, you know, trying to get the magic flutes and everything, and the, you know, the warp level things, because back then that was a big thing to find a shortcut in a game. So yeah, that was all pretty awesome. And yeah, so my brother and I, we played on the Commodore and the NES on his old 486 PC. I can remember playing Hand of Fate, which was one of the Legend of Disgaea games. Legend of Disgaea 2, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember all that well, but I really didn't play the other Legend of Disgaea games. I just played Hand of Fate, but damn, that was just enough. Played a lot of Commander Keen. Commander Keen on DOS Engine, which was a really, really great game. Let me think. There were a couple of other games that I played, but, you know, mostly on DOS. It was really, yeah, Commander Keen. Oh, Lost Vikings. I played so much of Lost Vikings. Yeah, played that game to death. Oh my god. Lost Vikings was an awesome game, so I played a lot of that. And a lot of Commander Keen, so yeah, that was pretty cool. So after he left, we got into other 16-bit. I remember one Christmas, when I was really good that year or something, I don't remember, I got this, the old SNES. The SNES back in the day was just a revelation, graphic-wise. The games were just, you know, there are so many great games on the SNES. To many people, it's still their favorite system, and, you know, I can see why, because the SNES is just revolutionary. It's a brilliant piece of technology, and so many great games out for it that, you know, there's really no end to it, really. So yeah, good old SNES, can't beat it. So yeah, I went on 16-bit gaming, and, you know, did that for a while, and then I went on to the PlayStation, PSX, PS1, which I sadly don't have anymore in my collection, so I'm afraid I can't show you that one. Too bad. But I had the original, the gray, you know, the angular PSX. And, you know, just a lot of great games on that one as well. I played Metal Gear Solid to death, so, you know, that was my transition, if you will, to the 32-bit era. And, yeah, I just went for Sony. I was a Sony fanboy for a couple years, but, you know, nothing too bad. I just never owned an Xbox or GameCube when I bought this thing. Which was the old PS2, of course. PS2, which seems to be flipped over. That's kind of weird. You know, I got the PS2, and you know, still brilliant, just a brilliant machine. This is actually the only, well, except for of course my next gen machine, but this is actually the original PS2 that I bought back when it was released on November 24th of 2000 in Europe. November 14th or November 24th. I think it was November 24th. I went out with my mom to the local game store and forked over, I think, the modern day equivalent of about $750. So, yeah. And it tended to be quite expensive, so back in the day in Europe, so I got it for $750 on release, and I got a demo disc, and I played SSX on it. My god, I remember the original demo disc. It had SSX and Tekken Tag Tournament, I think. Played a lot of great games on that as well. I think I spent most of my time in total on the PlayStation 2, and you know, this whole thing just doesn't seem to want to break. She's been going strong for I believe a good better part of how long? Yeah, well, that's 9 years, over 9 years now in a couple of months, so that's pretty good for a game system to still be up and kicking at that age. Of course, there are older game systems, but yeah, this thing just was played so many times. I couldn't believe that it still worked, especially because the PlayStation 2 wasn't exactly known. Talking about consoles that aren't exactly known for their build quality. So after the PS2 started to sort of, you know, fade out a little bit, and people were starting to talk about next gen, and you know, how it was all very exciting, and you know, there were going to be a lot of great games out with extremely cool graphics, and you know, hey, come on, I was younger back then, a little bit of a graphic whore. You gonna blame me for that? There were going to be a lot of great games out, and I was like, you know, I gotta get in on this. So, I couldn't wait for the PS3 to come out, and especially because the PS3 marketing had been a little, you know, iffy. Why am I doing this? I decided to go for the Xbox 360, which I've modded with a Street Fighter 4 faceplate and console skin, as you can see. Yeah, I went for the 360 because I couldn't wait for the PS3. And you know, ever since I've been going strong, next-gen gaming-wise. I only have an Xbox 360 at this point, but I have owned a PS3 and a Wii, so I'm planning to keep that up. Try and get the other consoles in my collection again. So that would be great. So yeah, that was my personal gaming history, filled with many gems of great joy. So yeah, thanks for watching.